Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more adventures of Ash and Steel. Now let's get out of this den of ne'er-do-wells
Keep your hands where I can see them.
and return to a place where perhaps our companion is less judgmental of our attire and motives. Now I will say this is my second attempt at recording this episode because I ran into a few technical issues, which I'll probably explain in a little bit. For now, we're just getting out of here.
Wait,
What's wrong?
someone is following us. I first noticed back at the cove. Someone experienced and skilled at concealing himself. Perhaps dangerous.
Should we try and catch him together?
No. If he realizes we've noticed, he'll disappear. Head to the swamp. I'll try and deal with him myself.
Are you sure?
Are you worried?
Somewhat.
Everything will be fine, Tristan. I can handle this. Go get your letter. I'll catch up.
Good luck.
The same to you.
Now, I think Irvin knows who he's dealing with here, but he doesn't want to tell us. And I think they have a healthy respect for one another, and also I don't want to be near whatever's creating that scuttling sound for very long, so I'm moving away quickly. Now, we got a lot of money in our recent endeavors, but also we got something else. Look at this. We found 2 skill potions. So guess what? There's one. There's 2.
Ugh, gross.
Now we have many skill points to play with. Let's pop these back on here. And we've had this lever diagram for a long time now, and I've been wanting to learn advanced crafting. So why don't we go and do just that? We've got all night to get back to the city. And when we get there, we're going to be learning and crafting. So in the previous episode, I ran into an issue where the game believed I had already learned the diagram for weapon honing kits. It's entirely possible I did find it earlier and learned it, even though I didn't have the skill to make them. But it would not allow me to craft them, despite believing I had learned the recipe to do so. And I also purchased a lever crafting diagram without realizing I already had one, learned it, then found this second one in my inventory and tried to learn it and wondered if, why does it say already learned? It's the fact that it says already learned on the item description on Mouseover that is misleading. So we may run into an issue or two. There may be some strategic saving and loading, and I might have to edit this episode a bit to ensure that I don't accidentally purchase extra recipes I already know. I mean, I suppose what I should do now is go and find a merchant who sells some leather and mouse over it in his inventory and it won't say already learned. It's bizarre, right? It is bizarre. So our goal here is to... Morning already, okay, great. Let's keep it up. Is to learn advanced crafting. And then we will also learn the patterns for 2 swords, a one-handed sword and a two-handed sword. The two-handed sword will be something like a 4 or 5 point damage upgrade for us, with fairly minimal. It will look just like this one, but it will hit a lot harder. And if I went to the marketplace, the next 2 or 3 swords I could purchase that would be an upgrade on this would not be better than the one I can create. And a one-handed sword, which gives us +5 insight when we have it equipped. This is obviously very useful, especially as there is that beggar who speaks in riddles in the slums who requires high insight to interpret. And we'll be able to go talk to him and understand what he's gabbling on about and get 500 experience points. I'll then be able to go and make a load of leather and upgrade our bow. Find out if I can create weapon crafting kits or not, because the game seems to believe I already know how to. And that's about all I did, really. I did make a whole bunch of leather. I should maybe check if the clothier in town sells the leather. Now, I can make weapon crafting kits at the regular crafting bench, or at an anvil apparently. I could go stop on the way to Nerests at the woodcutter's camp to see if I actually have the recipe already, but as it may involve leather, I might as well go make the leather first. So obviously, what I need to do is get the skill first and slow down, because old Vinny the Smith won't be outside his forge until it's later in the day anyway. It is tempting to instead just blow most of this money on a fancy helmet and upgrade our protection a bit. And that's not the worst idea I've had. We do also have other things we can sell. Oh, speaking of which, at one point I went to sell one of these. On the slider I specifically set it to 1, and it sold both. So I'll be equipping it when the time comes so that I can't accidentally sell both. So I also tried the weapon honing. It was an absolute headache, nightmare. I followed the on-screen prompts fairly well, and it still gave me a bad result and nothing. So yeah, not happy with that. I did swear a bit about the annoying, frustrating minigames in War Tales and how they're pretty pointless there, but at least they're a bit achievable, whereas the ones in this game are just an absolute nightmare and really hard. Yes, there are mods which make them easier, and I may very well be installing those at some point. In all fairness, I would have only done something like a 1-point damage upgrade on the weapon I was trying to enhance anyway, but I was doing it more to try to learn the system so that it wouldn't be so much of a nightmare in the future. And we gained a couple of weapon crafting kits from the quest anyway. Now the other thing is, I'd like to head out to the Inn of the King's Brother and try to learn some basic one-handed weapon skills from the soldier there who can train us. Because if we upgrade our blacksmithing skill all the way, we can make a unique two-handed sword which can be one-handed or two-handed, and which we can adjust and enhance and alter and change as the game goes on. However, bug reports on the forum have frequently claimed that for some reason the two-handed version of the sword benefits from the one-handed sword training skills. So, hey, even though the two-handed weapons have a massive damage boost. If it's a two-handed, one-handed weapon, that's a set of skills I can also invest in. And that would also unlock weapon stances for one-handed weapons. And I will say, in the previous attempted episode, picking up one-handed weapons did make it clear which was the fast and which was the slow and heavy stance. And it was as I originally suspected. It's just that the heavy, slow two-handed stance for two-handed swords appears quite fast because it's swirling and slashing around in all directions, which is good for being surrounded and outnumbered. I'm also tempted to pick up that shoulder barge skill. Oh, here we go. Okay, that's dealt with. And quite unpleasant it was too. But there we go. Never a dull moment, eh? So at this point, I'm obviously going to dawdle a little. I'll do a quick recording check, because I've just stopped and started again. In fact, I'll double check. Yeah, good. Okay. So yeah, the goal will be to double check some of the game's suppositions. But hey, it all depends on when old Vin gets outside his forge, I guess. So I'm in no particular hurry at all. This is all about preparing Tristan for some much tougher fights against some nasty brigands. And this quest to recover the letter is taking so long, it's starting to feel like it really is going to be the entire chapter, and when we finally get it, we'll be going into chapter 3. In which case, chapter 2 so far has been much shorter than chapter 1. And I should take my time and enjoy it and explore and see how many things I can do. Unfortunately, that means no armor upgrading until chapter 3, which sounds positively painful. Because allegedly, when we get the letter back, we will receive actual armor from a knightly order. Low ranking armor, probably nowhere near as good as what the other knights are wearing, but it will be a marked improvement on this piece of crap. That being said, if we want to replace this at the moment, we'll have to contend with the loss of 5 stamina. We've kind of made up for the free strength now quite significantly. So we should be looking into a significant stamina investment in the future. And the armor ratings are so low on this that there's no point trying to improve them at all. Is he outside yet? And if not, what could I do to help pass the time? I could have gone to Jiri and tried to purchase yet another leather pattern. Glad I didn't. And the Masters of the Forge in the Knightly Order may already be at work this early in the morning. Oh, don't mind me, officer. You're clearly about your very important business of walking from over there to somewhere in this direction. I won't stand in your way, and you won't give me any trouble. Ah, hello there. Now, Dillis, you will buy leather. And I think there's an experience award with the coin for that, potentially. So we're definitely looking into some leather crafting in this episode, and maybe if we've had a great amount of fortune, old Vinny will come out at the same time as Dillis, or a very similar time, and we can trade with him as well. However, the training will be more important than the trading, and he's not outside yet. This evil thing is the bane of any sane player's existence. It's absolute hell. I was going to check if I could walk through here. And no, there is an actual fence, not just some kind of decorative post. Oh, come on. You old curmudgeon. And I can't remember for the life of me where to... Oh, but hang on. One of two. Nails. Frying pans. Pots. So yeah, if we could get ourselves some coal, we could do some serious smelting. Finn, my man. It's finally time. Now, we can't afford this one anytime soon, and we need to increase our ability scores, but while we're here, I would like to obtain this. See, that doesn't say already known. A craftsman's longsword gives +5 insight. Now it says already learned, even though we haven't. So when it's in our possession, the item thing changes. So, how bizarre. The Acolyte's Greatsword, 35 damage, big improvement. We'll take it. And that does not say already learned. What the actual fuck? Right, hang on. So I think it's something weird in the game's memory from... Right. Yeah. So, we do not, in fact, know how to create this. Now we do. And we will absolutely make that with our good steel. And there we go. We will equip that. It will be a significant downgrade for damage. A whole 5 points. We can get another point back on that with weapon training. And we're going to learn how to make this, which the game now believes we've already learned. Even though it didn't a short while ago when I originally purchased it. So with that now, 29, 35, that's a 6-point damage upgrade. And only requires 15 strength, that's rather good. Can we melt this down? I don't think there's a second one for sale anywhere. We can, but we basically can't. What we can do, however, is sell off the old one. Sure.
How much will you pay for this? That much.
Experience as well. Excellent stuff. So, now then. Let's head off to the Order and meet the Masters of the Forge there, who work away day and night, creating good equipment for the knights who dwell here. So I think it's a display issue. However, it is entirely possible that I did get hold of the diagram
My
of the
bones
lever
are
a long
aching
time
again.
ago and
The
attempt
storm's
to
coming.
pre-learn it
I can
before I
feel
was
it.
capable of... Oh, you're both not in here working yet. Lovely. Well, that's unfortunate. We could also make some nice sword for sale with our steel, or just hold off and wait for some good crafting opportunity later on. And if I'm going to be using weapon sharpening kits and suffering, I may as well improve the skill with them.
One speak
You're
to
not
you, brother.
teaching, are you? But you are. Beltran. Good fellow. Perfect dodge. Seems like an absolute nightmare. Allows you to dodge an attack at the last second to counter it. Well, you don't have much time to dodge them anyway. This could be helpful. Bonus stamina burn. Well, it's expensive anyway. And we're mostly just trying to pass the time till the Masters of the Forge can arrive. But hey, if they're not going to be here just yet... then I might as well go and find myself a beggar. Who are you? Elliot. Oh, yeah, you're this chap. Right, yes. We will spend a lot of money. And regret it. Now, if I purchase this, it's going to say already learned, and then we'll have a problem. So I need to first go find myself a regular crafting bench to discover
Keep your hand.
if that is the truth. And you can teach me armor reinforcing, which would be great if I had some actual armor to reinforce.
Can't see tucht in a fog like this.
And honestly, after my multiple attempts at the weapon honing earlier, we have 2 sets already, so we don't need to be in a rush to create more. And we have not only 1, but 2 weapons that could benefit from this, if it actually worked. So I'm kind of willing to throw those 2 sets away on making the attempt, but it's basically impossible. You know, you follow all the on-screen instructions as best you can, and it just says bad result plus no % improvement. Congratulations, you got nothing and wasted your whole time going through this ridiculously overcomplicated minigame that's even worse than the bloody minigames in War Tales, which are annoying and frustrating and don't even need to be there because they're for a completely different kind of game. Honestly, it's just rubbish. So, yeah, very frustrating. And I appreciate that it's to improve the equipment, and the equipment is given to you on the assumption you will improve some of it a little bit. And you won't get the maximum results necessarily, but the way they've chosen to implement it is frustrating, and I may very well need to install the mods that make this easier. However, since there's a new patch coming soon, The mods may need to be updated for it.
The
Anyway.
wind blows through my bones, but is the rain full? See, so you're hungry. Here's a bit of food. Ah! The song sound delights the cloud. He's lost. So where does the path hide?
Okay. That's a lot of insight we don't have. So if it's windy, because the cloud's been blown away, and he can't work out where to put his feet because he needs some better shoes, I'm not sure what we need to give him yet. But hey, we're getting experience points, so it's all good. Again, tempted to make a load of leather and sell it to try and afford a better helmet. We don't have a second one of it. So this is the weird thing, right? We can hang on to these in the hope of smelting them down later. Or just sell them for current profit now. And that doesn't have a very high price tag on it. The exquisite rapiers we have are very nice, but we don't need a pair of them. So we can go sell one. Nobody in town seems to give a good price for it, and I'm not going to go try tangle with the drunken sailor this early in the morning. Why did I say early and not instead of early? If you know the song, you know. And actually, the reason for the stereotypical way that sailors and pirates speak is actually pretty clever. It's not the way things are pronounced on land, but it is designed for the sounds to carry over strong winds and storms if you're shouting down to the other end of the ship to be clearly understood. So, we're going to go and make leather. And maybe make ourselves a new bow, but we haven't actually used this one yet. And we kind of qualify for crossbows now as well, actually. But then, the way this game treats ranged weapons, it is a pain in the backside to try and switch from ranged to close combat weapons. So generally, you'll get one shot off, then they'll charge up and start hitting you. Presumably. And you'll have a really hard time trying to, because you need to sort of... It's weird. Instead of using R to draw and sheath a weapon, you need to use left click or right click, the attack or block buttons, which will sheath or draw a weapon anyway, except the block button draws the bow. And it's the only way to draw the bow. And if you put the bow away again, and then press R to draw a weapon,
Why is he wearing that
it
junk?
draws the bow. And the only way to switch back to your close combat weapon is to left click as if attacking. Now, in all fairness, that can just take some getting used to. But it also seems like an absolute nightmare. Now, while we would like to go to the Inn of the King's Brother to learn one-handed weapon skills, we do have another reason for going there. The innkeeper there will buy all the dodgy booze we're trying to sell. However, if we can get 25 insight, we can get a better price from him. And with the boost from our one-handed sword, our insight is now 23. And then we can get an even higher price from him if we get it up to something like 35. Maybe 30, I can't remember. So I don't want to go and sell him the booze yet. What I want to do is run all the way to Nerests.
Maybe someone will come and save us.
Nobody cares.
But the one Almighty...
And discover if I really do know how to make leather yet, or if it's just a display issue when the item's in my inventory. In which case I will learn how to do it, and then create a lot of leather. I'll tan many hides, and get about 22, 23 leather, of which I could use one to improve my bow if I went to Jury and bought the recipe to do so, and in all fairness that's a fairly cheap upgrade. Then I could go sell all my leather in town to the clothier, make a tidy sum, or hold on to it for crafting purposes. Now, since we don't actually get to create very much armor, and we can get hides and leather fairly easily, maybe I can afford to sell it all off now, and could probably do with the profits.
Be sure, life goes on.
Sometimes I wonder why we even have gods.
And we might even need to stay overnight at the rests as well. After that, I'm not entirely sure if we should be fighting brigands to try and gain that map knowledge, which would get us good practice for when we go into the swamp area when we finally find it, or trying to head directly for the swamp. And yeah, you know what? Some kind of armor upgrade may significantly help us. We just have to learn with our drastically decreased stamina in the meantime. If we could find an item that increases stamina, probably at the jeweler's store, we'd be okay. I'm not sure I did learn how to create leather, especially as I've been carrying around the pattern for ages, and I may have been talking about stockpiling recipes but not learning them because I didn't know if the game could allow me to learn while... And there's some big beetles over here on the right I could go fight for practice as well at some point. If the game would allow me to pre-learn before gaining the correct skill levels. So there's one very easy way to find out, and that's just to run over there and see what the game's actually going to allow me to do. Dear Tanning Rack, you will not in fact allow me to craft leather. Well, let me let you in on a little surprise. You shall, actually, allow me to create leather. I can't click and hold, I have to click each time individually. Which, given that there's a minus, you'd think they would allow that. I don't know why we got a hammering sound for tanning leather, where you need to... You stretch it out to dry, but before you stretch it out to dry, you put it over something like a log, inside out, and scrape all the flesh off the inside of the skin, getting it as smooth and clean as you can. And then you're supposed to leave it in pits full of chemicals for days to soak and stuff, and eventually you stretch it out to dry. So anyway, we've done a good job here. It has also been suggested that it's worth swimming in ponds, small ponds like this one. Because hey, come on you. Right, get down there. What's this stuff? Yeah, just walk out of it then. So we got some metal there. Iron, excellent, and 23 leather, which is brilliant. Now we can create things that require leather. And maybe I shouldn't go fight that beetle just yet, because I've been rummaging around, creating stuff, and we are soaking wet. So now we can make a bundle of camping supplies, and I think that's a very good idea. Excellent stuff. Could make some more spades. 10 of them. But I think we're kind of okay for now. So why don't we head back towards the woodcutter's camp and start pondering what we want to do next. I mean, I'm thinking maybe next episode we fight some more wildlife again. What else? Well, our two-handed sword is obviously going to be a bit of a big focus for now. That's 41 without a bonus for being well rested. If we get a good night's kip, we could go off and do some serious fighting. Also, with our helmet, we have some decent protection values, although it would be nice to improve on those. To which end we are probably not... Oh, we didn't go sell our extra necklace, or the golden bracelet, or the golden letter opener, which is technically large enough to use as a dagger, but wouldn't be any good in a fight. So we can get some decent money and put that towards our final skill point. However, since all these skill points came at once, I don't necessarily need to spend them all now. If we want to go for survival skills, we need 25 dexterity for almost everything, or 25 insight and 20 dexterity. So we're talking 6 dexterity, 2 insight at least. So 3 levels if we want any sort of survival skill. For craftsmanship, we could absolutely... we're not far off that, actually, to be honest. Results are based on your skill, which you'd think would be the skill here, but it's not. It's pressing buttons with a lot of diagonals when you've only got 4 directions. Armor reinforcing would be great if we could have some decent quality armor. So we're basically looking at combat skills. And probably the one-handed weapon mastery, level 1. Because it's good, it's cheap, it gets us progress towards things like the powerful kick. Or we could just grab this and try and learn how the hotkeying works, because obviously when we get in a fight, we see an array of hotkeys on this giant sword blade down at the bottom of the screen. However, one, I'm not sure if this is just the interact key. Two, poison, that may be an interaction, not a, yeah, so 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sensing there's a lot more than 8 hotkeyable skills here, right? Yeah, joy. So I don't know if they'll be automatically hotkeyed when we obtain them, and if we can unhotkey them, or switch them around, put them on different hotkeys when we get that ability. Clearly that functionality is not currently available. And obviously we may not be able to get everything over the course of an entire game, but with those potions, the ability to learn plenty more skills is definitely opening up. So we want to bear these things in mind. What are we doing here? I think we're heading back towards the city because I don't fancy trying to tackle 2 giant insects at once. They do look like one of them's lower level. You know what? We are right here. With our big new highly offensive sword. Oh, you're dead. Run, Tristan. Run away from the cloud of insects. We can come back for that one later. Because those things are still following. Although they appear to be dispersing somewhat. Let's have a drink of water. And then go back for that big bastard and hope it hasn't been given some kind of full heal because we went so far away. Now. I think it has. Nope. Don't you dare. That was obviously pretty challenging. So it seems we just can't run away from the big cloud of flies. Worst luck.
Gross.
No. No, Tristan, just leave it. You can come back for it later, when you're feeling a bit better. In fact, let's make it quite clear we're not looking for a fight right now. And what can we... Oh, we want more hail grass. Okay, let's just put that there for now. Oh, I didn't stop by Rump's camp to make some more potions. And I could have absolutely made one more flask of wolfsbane, which is not a bad idea. And we're not enough to full health to
banging
just
around
leave it
in the
at that
cellar
for now.
all night. Couldn't bring myself to risk checking what it was.
We are... While we do have something like 6 more points of damage of our two-handed sword, we're probably still not good to tackle that gang of thugs in the outskirts who are creating illegal booze and selling it on the cheap. Not yet, at any rate. Maybe I should save up and buy a decent bit of armor. I mean, it's all well and good waiting for the quest reward, but as the quest reward grows further and further away, that may not be wise. But I don't want to get it and be disappointed that it's worse than what I bought. So that's a hard one, Tristan, my lad. Yeah, I tried to go with fellow my lad and decided to shorten it. That would be more of a pirate thing to say, or more sort of Napoleonic era. Young fellow my lad would be a bit more Victorian. Okay, if we make sure we put some good distance between us and those churlish knaves.
We will be dead too.
Maybe someone will come and save us.
Let's go see what the Gravediggers Guild wants today. I think it's still the same day.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
It is still the same day. Well, alright, I think I'm going to end this episode here. We've done some crafting, we've learned that there's an interesting display bug. Oh, I was going to go into the camp and see if I actually did already know how to create weapon enhancing kits or not, but I can do that off screen. Alright, well, I'm going to leave this episode here. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. I'll say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all soon.